The 90-minute focus rule. There's a soldier in a sleep lab in Chicago, wired to a machine, and he has no idea he's about to overturn everything you believe about willpower. It's the 1950s. A researcher named Nathaniel Kleitman is watching brainwaves rise and fall through the night in a slow, rolling rhythm up, down, every 90 minutes like clockwork. And then Kleitman asks the question nobody had thought to ask. What if that rhythm doesn't stop when you wake up? It doesn't. And that single discovery is the reason you can't focus for 8 hours straight no matter how much coffee you drink, and why the most productive people on Earth stop trying. Here's what almost nobody tells you. Your brain isn't built to run like an engine, steady and constant from morning to night. It's built to run like a tide. That 90-minute cycle Kleitman found in sleep, it keeps going all day long. Scientists call it the basic rest activity cycle, the BRAC, and it governs your alertness, your hormones, your hunger, even how quickly you blink. For roughly 90 minutes, your brain climbs toward a peak of sharp, available attention. And then, whether you like it or not, it slides down into a trough where focus collapses, your eyes drift, and that report you were crushing suddenly feels like reading a wall of static. Most people hit that trough and panic. They think they're lazy. They think they're broken, so they fight it: more caffeine, more pressure, another hour chained to the desk. And that's exactly the mistake. Because you cannot outdiscipline a biological rhythm. You can only work with it or burn against it. Now here's where it gets interesting. A researcher named K. Anders Ericsson, the man who actually did the famous study everyone misquotes as the 10,000 hours rule, went and studied elite performers. Violinists at a world-class music academy. Chess grandmasters, athletes. He wanted to know what separated the best from the merely good, and buried in his data was something almost everyone ignored. It wasn't that the elite performers practiced more hours total, it was how they practiced. The top performers worked in focus sessions that almost never ran past 90 minutes. Then they stopped, completely. They rested, they napped, they walked. And crucially, the very best practiced in the morning, took deliberate breaks, and rarely pushed more than about 4.5 hours of truly intense focus in an entire day. Read that again. The greatest violinists on the planet did less deep work in a day than you probably think you're supposed to do before lunch. But every minute of it was real. This is the secret hiding in plain sight. Elite focus isn't about extending your attention span. It's about respecting its shape. 90 minutes on. Then genuinely off. The on is sacred: no phone, no email, no half-watching a video in another tab. Single target, full intensity. And the off is just as sacred, because that's when your brain consolidates what it just learned and reloads the chemistry you spent down. Dopamine, glucose, the neurotransmitters that make concentration possible, they don't refill while you're white-knuckling through hour 3. They refill when you walk away. And there's a deeper layer here that should genuinely change how you see your worst moments of the day. That foggy, useless feeling you get mid-afternoon, that's not failure. That's the trough of your rhythm, and it may be the most valuable part of the cycle. Because when your focused, analytical brain powers down, your mind drifts into something neuroscientists call the default mode network. That's the state where unexpected connections form, where the answer to a problem you gave up on suddenly arrives in the shower. The break isn't the absence of work. For your creative brain, the break is the work. So why does almost nobody do this? Why do we glorify the all-nighter, the grind, the 8-hour deep work marathon? Because we inherited a factory model of the human mind, the idea that a person is a machine that should produce at a constant rate and that slowing down is weakness. But you are not a machine. You are a tide. And the people who figured that out aren't working harder than you. They're surrendering to a rhythm you've been taught to ignore. Try it for one day. Pick your single most important task. Set a timer for 90 minutes and give it everything: no switching, no checking, no escape. When the timer ends, stop even if you feel like you could keep going. Especially if you feel like you could keep going. Walk, stare out a window. Let your mind go slack for 15 or 20 minutes. Then come back and do it again. Most people are stunned by how much they produce and how much less it costs them. Kleitman found the rhythm in a sleeping body almost 70 years ago. It was inside you the entire time, rising and falling, waiting for you to stop fighting it and start riding it. So here's the question worth sitting with tonight. If your brain has been keeping perfect time this whole time, how much of your life have you spent working against the clock instead of with it?